Yes, in this video, two of my YouTube families gave me an observation. They gave me an observation saying that um, this D3, cell D3 and cell D8 are having the same position, whereas the score are different, 77 and 79. Okay, so they're not supposed to have the same positions. So thank you to those two persons who pointed this out, asking what's wrong, that something is wrong. Yeah, definitely something is wrong, and thanks for the observation. So in this video, I'm going to show you how it can be sorted out. So this is it. This is the first person saying that D3 and D8 position are saying kindly check that. Oh, thank you so much. And this person said 77 and 79 have same position. Something is wrong. Oh, so thank you so much. And I really appreciate that. So this video, we're going to look at how we can amend this and what happened, the mistake that was made, and how we can give it the best score. So thank you. Let's look at a recap of what we did in the previous video that we want to update. So updating the previous video, a recap of it. We want to get the position of the student. There's a student's name. Serial number. We have 6 students here and various scores in different quiz. The previous video we used a symbol here, initial, but we're going to use names and then the score. The scores are the same with the previous video. So I'll take it bit by bit. So let's get the position using ranks. Position, we're going to get the position using rank. So to get the position using rank, we're going to use the function, the rank function, which is equal sign, then rank. You can see the rank here. We have rank.eq, and we also have rank. You can see this has a limitation. This rank is only available for Excel 2007 and earlier version. You can still use rank.eq for any type of Excel you have. So let's just use rank, since I used rank in my previous video. So double click on rank. The first thing we need is the number, which is the first score in the score column. So the first score, which is C2, have C2 here, then comma. Then the next thing we need is the reference. The reference is we're ranking this first person, which is Oliver, with what are we comparing it with? We're comparing it with all these other scores under the column C. We are comparing with all these other scores. So we highlight all the scores from the first to the last score. Once we've done that, we click on the F4 on your keyboard to lock it up. To lock it up, what does it mean? It means that each cell is going to compare the score with the first score to the last score. Each cell will compare the score from the first score to the last score. That is why we have to lock it up. So once you lock it up, you either use the F4 on your keyboard. If it doesn't work for you, you can some keyboard needs to press the function key, then the F4 key. So for this one, we just press F4. Once you do that, you can either close this and get your answer, or you can as well use the order. So let's choose the order, since in the previous video we used just the order. So comma, we put the order. The order said descending or ascending. Descending means from the highest score to the lowest score. While ascending means from the lowest score to the highest score. So the descending order is the default, which is from the highest score to the lowest score. The highest score gets the first position, the lowest score gets the end position. So we're going to put 0 there and close the bracket. Once you do that, you hit on the enter key. Now we've done this, and it means that Oliver took 5th position in this particular quiz. So let's get the scores for others. So drag this down. You can see that the first position is 87, who is what? Lily. So now we got these positions here. If we change anything, let's say we change Sophia from 14 to 97, it's going to reflect automatically once you hit the enter key on the positions. You can see that now Sophia is now first position. Now if we also try that on Oliver, Oliver here took the sixth position, but if we change the score of Oliver to, let's say, 54, and hit the enter key on your keyboard, you can see that Oliver now is took what, fourth position. Now let's try that for another person. If we change this to what, 89, we change it to 89 and hit the enter key, you can see the whole position changes. That is the benefit of function. So if you also change this to let's say 77 and hit the enter key, you can see that the positions also what, changes. So any changes you make here affects the what, position. Any changes you make in the score affect the what, positions. So let's add another student. Probably we forgot to add a particular student. Let's add this seventh student, who is Leo, for example. If you add Leo, and maybe Leo scores 79, 79, you can see that. So here we'll get an error under the position. Now, in the previous video, I selected from here and dragged it down to this particular point, and we got an error here. So here we have C7. Now, why is, you can see the locked cell, that's the cell on red. You can see this, okay, let me make it more visible so that you can see this cell. You have C2 to C7. But if you observe here, this is C2, that is cell C2 to cell C8. Remember, cell is a combination of column and what, row. So the last cell here is what, C8. But what we have here is C7. So we need to change this 7 to 8. Now, if we change this 7 to 8 and hit the enter key, we got the fourth position. And that was the update that some of my subscribers, some of my subscribers noticed that the seventh student took a position of fourth, and the second student is also fourth, but their values are not the same. You can see that the value here is 77, while the value here is 79. They are not the same, they are not tied. So you are not supposed to have a fourth and the fourth position. So one is supposed to be fourth and the other is supposed to be what, fifth. Now, updating this, what I'm supposed to do is to come to the first position in the first cell in the position column, click on it. If you observe, it has C7. Do you get that? It has C7. It stopped at what? Cell 7. Like, it stopped at 89, not 79. But if we come to this place, here we have C8. You can see they're not matching. They're not the same. You can see that. This one locked up to C8, but this locked towards C7. So what I was supposed to do, the first method, because I said I'm going to show you two methods. The first method, what I'm supposed to do is to come to the first position and change this locked up cells, which is the scores. You can see that it stopped, the highlighting stopped at what? Cell C7. So if we change this to what? C8, either you drag it or you just fill in 8 here. You can see that. So have C8 now, you hit on what? Enter. And once you hit on enter, you drag it down. Once you drag it down, you can see that it will have what? Effect now. So you can see that Isabella is now the fifth position, while Leo is now the what? Fourth position. So that was the initial mistake I made in the previous video. So thanks to you guys for letting me know that. Thanks for the observation. I really appreciate. So let's back to the video. I'm going to show you a second method that you can use to do this instead of you changing the reference from the reference number. What we're supposed to do, another thing you can do is this. Let me switch. Okay, what you can do is another method is this. You click on method 2. Let's just call it position. Position. Let's just call it position. So this is going to be the method 2. So what you're going to do is to click on equal sign. So use rank. Rank. What are we ranking? We want to rank the scores. To pick the first one. C2, comma. Then the reference. You select the reference. So if I select the reference like this now, let's say I selected everything. If I select it, let's just use the first one. If I select from C2 to C7, it becomes the initial method. But what we're going to do, instead of us selecting these cells, the best thing to do is to select the entire column so that whenever you add any other students, every position automatically changes. So instead of us selecting the cell, we're going to select the entire column. So how do we select the entire column? All you need to do is just to click on this C. You can see that. You click on column C. You can see it also selected empty cells. Okay. So whenever you add any students here, the position automatically reflects. So click on the column C. Once you've done that, comma, then descending order. Well, we need from the first, the highest score. Then you close the bracket and hit on enter. And once you do that, you can see you have the same score, seventh position. So we drag it down, or you double click on it, anyone, drag it down. You drag it down, you can see the positions are the same. Now let's test if this works for another student. Let's add the 8th student. Let's say Lucas. Let's say Lucas scored let's say he scored 88. 88. Now if you notice, if I click here, there will be an error. Okay, but if I click, you can see this particular second method automatically updates the position of Lucas. So you can see selecting the entire column is the best method to use. So if you're new to my channel, please kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, and also observe my video. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay. So you can see this one has error. So for you to correct this, you have to go back to the first one, go back to the first cell. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions, or if you have any concerns, leave a comment below. So you go back to the first cell. You can see it stopped at cell C8. Meanwhile, we have here cell C9. So you go back to the first cell and change this, or you drag this to cell C9 so that hit on the enter key and we get the same value. Then you come down here and drag it down, get the same position. You can see that. So I advise you can use the second method. The second method said, pick the first cell, and the reference should be the entire column in case you need to add additional students to your maybe position, to your records. You pick the entire column, then you use descending order, and you get your result. So this is basically the correction to the previous video I made, which I got a message saying that there is a mistake in 2 positions. Now there is something else I want to show you. There's something else I want to show you. What if you have a tie? What if you have a tie that 2 students got the same mark? What will happen? Now let's assume that the students got 87 and these students this student also got 87. Let's see what will happen. It will enter. You can see. Now let's look at these positions. You can observe that the position here, we have first, second, third, fourth, and fourth. You can see that 87, 87. So we have two students with what? Fourth position. We have two students getting the position of fourth. Look at it. Students, Oliver scored 87, fourth position, and here Lily scored 87, fourth position. Now, if you observe in this position column, there is nothing like fifth position because two students who supposed to take fourth and fifth have occupied the position of what? Fourth. So what Excel does is that it skips the next number and moves to the order. So what you will get next is what? Sixth position, then seventh position. The same thing now happens when students, maybe three students got the same score, then you are going to skip two numbers because it's a tie. So I just want you to get to observe this in Microsoft Excel. In case if you notice it, you know the reason. So let's talk about how to get the top three students. They're just top three students. So we're going to look at the top three positions. So the top three position, we're going to use the index and the what? Match function. So the index, you click on this. Once you click on it, you type in the equal sign on your keyboard, writing index. You can see that index returns a value or reference of the cell at the intersection of a particular row and column. Cell is the intersection of rows and column in a given range. So click on index. So what are we looking for? We want to get the student with the first position and the student with the second position, student with the third position. So we click on what? Names. We're going to select the names, or you just select the entire column B. So we select the array or the reference. You select it. Once you select it, you're going to lock it. You lock it up by pressing the F4 on your keyboard, then comma, then the next function, which is the match function. Use the match function, which says returns the relative position of an item in an array that matches a specified value in a specified order. Now, what we want to do now, we want this match to match the students with the first position here. So we're going to click on match. Then the first position, we want to get the first position here. We want this, so click on the first position. Once you click on it, comma, from where do you want to get this first position from? From the what? The position column. So it's either you click on the column itself, or you just select the entire cells with the position values. So once you do that, you lock it up with the F4 on your keyboard. Then the next thing you need to do is to type comma. Then when you type comma, it's going to ask you, do you want the match that is less than, or do you want the one that is exact? Do you want the one that is less than 1, or do you want the one that is exact 1, or do you want the one that is greater than 1? So we need exact. So you click on exact, or you just simply type in 0. When you click on exact, you're going to see it. Now remember, I have two brackets open, the red bracket and the black bracket. So we're going to close this twice. Close the first bracket and close the second one. Then hit on what? The enter key. Once you hit on the enter key, it shows that Sophia took the first position. Now let's go to her position and check the name, which is Sophia. You can see that. So Sophia took the first position. Now to get the second position, you just drag it down. The second position is and the third position. Lucas, okay? So you can see first position, second position, and third position. So if you also want to get the fourth position, you can still type the fourth position and drag this down, you get the fourth position. You can see that. So Oliver took the fourth position here. So this is how you can calculate the position of the students in a particular exam or quiz, and as well get the top students in that particular examination. So if you have any question, please do well to leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you still have any concern, please do well to let me know. Thank you for the observation and the previous video. See you next time, and do well to subscribe, turn the notification bell